My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is November 29, 2023. It is 6:45 a.m. I wasn't planning on recording anything. I let the night flew by. I didn't record anything. On my phone, I posted this because I was reading some comments, and then someone said something about why I don't speak about certain things, and I went on to that big rant of a post, and I on my phone. So there's my back end. 3,583 subscribers, new subscribers welcome. Estimate revenue $284.35. I do not know why the revenue is that low. It should not be. Okay, analytic. Okay, so there's this here, 284.35. That's the revenue. In the last 48 hours, I had 7,441 views. And there's my subscription. So let's go on Twitter. I quickly put that list together. Originally, I had 10 and I added some more to it. The thing that you're seeing on the screen, I just added as well. But I want to focus on the list. My son should be calling me in a few, because he just left for school. So I have several video clips that I want to share with you. So I wanted to listen to them. That's why I decided to record. So my husband is working from home, so I may not finish everything. All right, so let's see here. If the Racist Royal Family is all about modernity and diversity, as they claim, why were they afraid of what their family would look like with Harry and Meghan's children? This is why everything they do about inclusion, diversity is performative and for PR only. Okay, so he or she, I don't know who's behind that, but that they retweeted that. How Prince William betrayal of Prince Harry exposed the royal family's dark side. Omid Scobby looked at the future of the royal family, which he described as being at a crossroad since the death of the Queen. New book Endgames reveal shocking details. All right, and before I start this is something I've been thinking about, and I think I've either put it on my community board in some shape or form. Princess Diana was somewhat I don't know. I think God uses her to sort of highlight the issues that was going on within this evil family. And many people did not take her warning. Okay, all of the interviews that she did, everything that she did by herself, by the way, with nobody helping her, by herself, where she found ways to give that script, respond to answers to the person who wrote the book about her, and the interview and all of that. All right, whether or not the interview was obtained legally or illegally, but she did her best. Okay, her best to the full capacity to warn the world, pretty much, because she was very well loved globally. But for some reason, nobody was listening, it seems like. Okay, especially in the UK, they cry when she died and everything, and then after that everybody go back to their normal ways. So in a way, I think God used her to give us a warning. And then with her offspring, William and Harry, whichever way you want to look at it, broaden or reignite what Princess Diana continued. What Princess Diana had started, and then now her offspring is shedding light to it furthermore. Okay, because I think Princess Diana will not be able to finish the work that those evil people, the evil family, was doing. She was not only, it was just her by herself. So now you got Harry, who bring in someone to help in a good way, to help the country, to help the family, and then the other son decided to go this route. Okay? So I don't know if I'm making sense. It's just that Princess Diana was a vehicle for those boys to come out and shed light to what is happening right now. Whether or not you like William or not, or Harry, whichever, because it seemed like there's Team Harry, there's Team the other brother, but majority of the squad focus on Harry because of the good that he's doing. Okay? If the brother had chosen the same way, can you imagine the power that he would have had right now due to his position that is awaited him? Okay, so God have used Princess Diana, someone who was very quiet, very pretty much I don't know, close to an angel, I would say, because she didn't do anything wrong. And then the family decided to turn against her like that. Just look at what they're doing to Harry and Meghan.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against him?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Okay, same thing. All right, so God uses her to create the offspring and then give two boys to fight that evilness. As much as we may not see it, but William is doing his part too, because if he had just mind his own business, the thing that we see going on right now would not have happened. Okay? Because the other two, to be in a marriage and that father of these boys, okay, they know how to play the game, they know how to stay in the background and do the thing. But the brother, okay, William decided to take it to another notch, like they say.
Is that the case?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, and if we're talking about why this whole, Harry Meghan thing started, it started because several years ago, if you cast your mind back, the Queen was and always will be the most popular royal, but second to that was Harry. It wasn't William and Kate. It was not William and Kate. And when Harry and Meghan became such a popular couple, it put everybody's noses out of joint. The establishment wanted to retain the monarchy as it was, to boost William and Kate, and the media, the Daily Mail and the Telegraph in particular, fed those lines.
Well, I agree with everything until you said the last bit. I think that somebody in the palace decided to take them down a peg or two, and it went too far.
Absolutely.
But it's all history now, isn't it?
But it's not history, because, for instance, if you take the media on, as Dawn will know, you
never win.
If you never win, but the media will always be at war with you, and the Daily Mail does everything drip, 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 poison.
And it's not like Harry and Meghan never use the media, of course. I mean, that Oprah Winfrey
if you were in that position, you would fight back too. You would absolutely fight back too.
And then this is why the world is seeing for what it is now. Okay, so let's listen. I went on a rant, but 2 minutes and 15 seconds there will be screenshots. Okay,
did he leave out, do you think, that would never see the light of day?
I think the conversations about Archie and his skin color.
There are several conversations.
There's a conversation about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
What we didn't know at the time was that Meghan and Charles had actually exchanged letters about those conversations. Charles wanted to clear the air. I was surprised to find out that it was two people at the centre of those conversations.
Those two people are senior royals, correct?
Senior working royals. And I think one thing we haven't really ever gone into is the sort of downfall of Harry and William's relationship, how those fractured were cracked even further apart on purpose by certain aides who wanted to sort of rebrand William as a cut above his brother after years of William being called lazy and work shy, that a rebranding was needed. But to do that, they often lent on comparisons with his brother, who needed to be painted in a worse light.
That's the thing. Okay, if they had just let Harry be, and then for William, create his own brand. There is so much going on in the UK that William could have focused. Perfect example. There's Harry with Invictus. So why doesn't William focus on the Commonwealth Games. Okay? So he rather focus all of his energy on destroying his brother. Meanwhile, there are so many things he could have done. Guess what? Okay, Invictus is Harry's baby. Look at how Harry is branding Invictus. Why can't you copy the work and transfer it into the Commonwealth? People can see for themselves. They could support both brothers. A lot of royalists, are willing to support both. But the other brother wants to completely destroy the other one. Meanwhile, he forgot what he could be doing for himself. Alright, and then you have different countries don't even want to host the Commonwealth Games anymore. Alright, so let's continue. Let me move it back slightly.
Brother who needed to be painted in a worse light.
There has always been this competition between us.
I think it helps us have a better understanding of why Harry and Meghan felt so appalled at the things that they were seeing, felt so desperate to get away from it, because this was more than just the press was against us. This was their own family stirring the pot with the press.
Where does Harry stand today in his relationship with Charles?
There is more warmth between Harry and Meghan and Charles than other family members. But
Wow, Charles must feel good about hearing this that Omid is saying. And the other thing as well, while I pause here, Omid needs to be very careful with what the palace is giving him to put in his book. He should, I'm sure he's a good researcher, but he needs to verify and double verify of the information that the palace is giving him. Especially after they're giving him the information, verify with, let's say for instance, they say something about Harry and Meghan. Contact Harry and Meghan and make sure this is what had happened. Because I think they will throw him some curveball so people could discredit his book. Because the narrative that the palace wanted was in the future. There's a tweet that came about and I put that, I responded to it. That some of those books that were written about the royal family and Harry and Meghan, whatever you may, it's for the future. Okay, it's not for us who's living in now. We see the truth. It's for our great grandkids when they are searching for Harry and Meghan content. They find all the lies. Look at the extent that they went. Once they knew Harry and Meghan were dating, they were paying people to lie about Meghan.
know we can rely on you for being a great guy. So what an incredible friend you were to Meghan Markle is. Have you guys hung out at all since then?
No, we haven't spoken. She just wrote me a very nice thank you letter and I framed it, and that was very nice of her to do. She just appreciated that I was honest, but it's so funny that we live in a time where everyone's like, it's such a big deal. I just did the right thing. Right. You know, it's okay to I feel like that should be the norm and the status quo, but it's like, whoa, it's so crazy. He told the truth. I think we should all be a little more honest.
Well, thank you for doing the right thing.
Writers, force writers to write about things.
About how the media inflames this. I was called by the Sun newspaper. If you don't know what the Sun is, it's sort of
got the topless girl on page 3. That's all you need to know.
And they called me about a month ago to ask if I'd write about how Meghan was like Wallace and how Meghan was going to destroy the royal family and the arguments between Meghan and Kate. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not privy to all of this. I don't think I could do it. And the commissioning editor was really twisting my arm to write this article and say, but you could say, couldn't you, that X happened, and you could say that she's fired all her staff, and you could say that Kate has said this. And I said, well, I'm really sorry, I don't know that, I can't do it. And this conversation went on for about half an hour, and I didn't write the article, but it just gives you an insight into how this whole thing is being, you know, the flames are being fanned by the media,
You've heard the phrase
view.
cottage industry, this is a palace industry, yeah.
And those with integrity and moral, and said, no, we're not gonna do that for you because I don't know what you're telling me, so why should I lie whatever you want me to write about someone else. Okay, so yeah, I think I was talking, my son just called me. I think I was talking about the future. While I was on the phone, I searched for the thing. There it is here. All right. I'm just going to go through it really quickly and go back to the other tweet. Okay, in 7 years, Harry and Meghan being together, racist royal family gatekeepers have written about 10 books with intent to paint Harry and Meghan in the negative light. But as soon as one book is written in a way that exposes their true selves, royal family are spitting blood and can't fathom. Okay, so there's me here responded to it, and two people like it. These books were meant for the future, not for us now. They wanted when our great-grandkids researching on Harry and Meghan, these are the BS full of lies they were going to find. This is why they are hating on Omid. He's not part of that BS machine. The palace even feed him lies, that's supposed to be a D, feed him lies to put in his book. Alright, someone respond and say, got it. Okay, that's me again. I really don't understand the logic behind all of these unnecessary headaches. Okay, so that was the thing I was making reference to. They write tons of books about Harry and Meghan full of lies, but as soon as the truth, somewhat to the truth, put a pinch of salt on Omid's book, because I feel like they feed him some lies in it as well, the palace. So just if you've been paying attention to what's going on Twitter and some of the things that I've shared with you, you will know where the truth lies. Okay, so let's get back to this. Let me rewind it slightly. I did a long pause.
Where does Harry stand today in his relationship with Charles?
There is more warmth between Harry and Meghan and Charles than other family members. But I was really surprised to discover that even Meghan had been sending photos and videos of the children to Charles. I think it just shows that there is hope there, perhaps, for the future, at least between those two.
You know, well, let's give Charles some credit here. There's some videos I've said, okay? This brings me back to some of the things that I've said. With Charles and Meghan, the very first time they met, the encounter, I think it went well. Because what I feel happened, I don't know where I read it for me to feel that way. Because Charles is very intellect. I'm not saying he's very bright, but intellect in terms of art, architecture. Maybe he reads a lot of other books that, you know, probably interest him. So he probably was talking to Meghan about something. And then to find out Meghan had something to say about that topic. This is where the connection sort of happened. And then somewhere down the line, maybe something or someone must have said something to Charles, and then things went haywire. So now that Omid is saying that Harry and Meghan are sending pictures and stuff like that to Charles and all of that, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all, because I felt like there was some kind of a connection with Meghan and Charles somewhere. Okay, so hearing this from Omid made me go back to some of the talking point that I've said before. Okay, so let's continue. Oh my God.
I think it just shows that there is hope there, perhaps, for the future, at least between those two. The next possible moment is Christmas at Sandringham. So far, Harry and Meghan haven't been invited, although some sources close to them have said that they would be open to thinking about it. But I think it's far too early to ever imagine a world in which they're all going to be together side by side and smiling, even if it is through gritted teeth.
Did he leave out, do you think?
Listening to that as well bring me that question. So how come Charles doesn't, if they're having that some sort of a communication, so how come Charles doesn't give Harry the protection that he needs? You know? Alright, so that was that. Okay, so let's go into this and read some of the comments. Let's pause. Okay, Meghan is way too good for that family. And I hope they don't go to Sandringham. I want the kids... like I have a say, I'm like, I want the kids. Okay, whatever Harry and Meghan will be saying. But I just don't see the kids will truly enjoy the moment over there. Okay, Meghan is way too good for that family. If William was able to sit down in a pub with a journalist in 2019 and trash his brother, Harry's allowed to talk about his trash brother betraying him first. That's true. But I don't know what happened in 2019 where he spoke with somebody. I don't know. This is news to me here. Okay, nothing new. They keep on playing same old record. Okay, he is a weirdo. Okay, Omid Scobby, Meghan Markle. What's the difference? Whatever. Since Harry and Meghan want rid of the royal family, they can be stripped of their titles and never set foot on the UK again. Whatever. Do what you need to do, because I think you people have tried, put some petition and all of that. Everything was rejected. So whatever. Okay, Meghan and Charles have been exchanging letters, and she has been sending him photos and videos of the children, and yet when Queen Elizabeth passed, he told her in no uncertain terms that she was not welcome at Balmoral. Now who knows, maybe this is the nonsense that they're feeding Omid. I don't know, did he verify with Meghan if that was true? I don't know. Alright, this is why I have to say you have to do a pinch of salt somewhere in Omid's thing. I honestly think Omid is telling, there it is here, half truth here, especially because he didn't interview Harry or Meghan. How would he know Meghan sent pics to Charles and that they be open to an invitation to St. Jerome for Christmas? Harry and what's L? Harry and L's priority is protected, I guess, Harry and Meghan. Yeah, Harry and Meghan priority is protecting their children's privacy, even if it's to grifters' teeth. Okay, all right. So this is what I have to say. There have to be some pinch of salt somewhere here, because I don't think Omid, the palace will always tell anyone who's writing books about the institution in a good way, no matter what. So he has to verify and double verify. Okay, so this is another tweet here. Robert Jobson needs to pick a side. Endgame, 29 seconds.
So is it normal for, and do you think it's true, that some of the royal households have been leaking on the other royal households, like Meghan and Harry?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can deny it all they like till they're blue in the face, but there's been an awful lot of leaking, particularly from Kensington Palace, about how things were developing, and that was a palace that both of them were representing, being represented by the same people.
So is it normal?
This is all. I've heard that before. I thought that was more recent. Okay, so November 27, couple days ago. Okay, this is retweet. Is that the same thing? However, family. Okay, these are the same thing. Let's see here. However, those close to William were said to be exasperated by its tone. A senior royal source told the Evening Standard, quote, "This is all about bolstering his cell. The truth is, the Prince of Wales has always been circumspect and discreet when asked about his family." Okay, what does that mean? Or just tell the truth. He wrote an article defending William. Okay, friend blessed with lovely. He goes wherever the wind blows. Yeah, that's all. He go. Oh, I forgot. I responded to it. So my son is in the bus. There's me here responding to her. Where is it? He goes. There was a question somewhere here. Oh, was it this? Teeth, resilient. Robert. Okay, that was this one. Robert Jobson needs to pick a side, and that was my response to it. The side where the wind is blowing and where the end of the rainbow leads. That's the pot of gold. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. I thought that was somewhat new. I didn't listen to the video until I'm recording. Okay, next tweet. There's this here. Because they leave the dramas for the drama queens in the UK, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moved on. They don't give a F about Scobby's book Endgame, the same way that family didn't give a F about Tom Boyle is a Liar book and all the other nasty books that was written about them. Endgame. Alright, so I guess one of the articles wrote this. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's notable silence on Endgame a threat to Hollywood plans. What? How is that a threat? I'm telling you, they be using some words that like, what the F? How the hell is that a threat? If Harry and Meghan speak, it's a problem. They don't speak, it's another problem. So it's best to just stay quiet. Okay, exclusive. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have not officially distanced themselves from author Omid Scobby despite claims they helped him pen his latest book. Did he? Did they? Whatever. That was yesterday, November 28, 2023. Okay, about them, Harry and Meghan, Bats, Black. When all those dreadful books about the Sussexes were being written, where was this okay, of over Bassady. She never wrote exclusive telling the other royals to distance themselves from those books. Or you're now attempting to convince us that only the other royals possesses emotion. Exactly. They are crazy, unstable. Alright, so this is someone that I blocked. What did it say here? They're doing everything to gaslight Harry and Meghan and to refuting the claims in Omid Scobby's Endgame. If his book is all a work of fiction, then how do they explain all this panics and the new hashtag Omid Scobby is a liar, don't buy his book? Oh, do they have that hashtag? I don't see it on the side. No. Islander, Meghan and Harry, the couple next door, Laura Bush, something about church. No. I don't see them hashtagging. Get the new hashtag Omid Scobby is a liar. Don't buy his book. Royal propaganda machine. Oh, really? Yes, they are, and Harry and Meghan clearly don't hear them. Harry and Meghan are keeping themselves away from all that drama. That's all. They just need to keep away from the dramas. They want them to stop Scobby. Let's see here. This is another person I blocked. Really? So they still want them to respond to all the lies they tell? Okay, they want them to stop Scobby. There's the rolling eyes. Scobby is revealing what the British media will swap with this. Alright, after this I'm moving on. Okay, you can see Schofield reveal swapping stories is a palace PR strategy. Quote, I go to the palace and say, I got scandalous headline about William Palace, will swap out that story for story about Harry. They say, I'll give you this story about Harry if you kill William's story. I mean, at this point, I think the royal family should know that, you know, every time the paper wants to talk about Harry and Meghan, they could make up any BS and say, I have this about Harry or William or something. Now you need to give me stories about Harry and Meghan. So they're probably always catching them on their stupidity. Just make up some nonsense about William and then for William to spill the tea. Wow, they're not very bright. I could see the papers be doing things like that. I don't know if they do, but I could see. If I'm thinking of it, they must be thinking of it. Alright, next tweet. When we're being told for the last 6 years we can put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal. Prince Harry. Let's keep the same energy. Why on earth should Harry and Meghan speak out? Okay, so let's see here. 53 seconds.
The institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold...
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private, being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told...
This is someone who was born, okay? Born and raised in that institution. So he knows what he's talking about.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
For the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family. There becomes a point when silence is betrayal.
I did a review of the Anderson Cooper interview on PYTE, and then my channel got some issues. I don't know if I made it public. I mean, I could always put it on Patreon. You guys could go and check it there. So let's see the next screenshot here. Sarah Vine, where do Harry and Meghan stand in relation to his puppet of theirs? If the Duke and Duchess of Sussex don't denounce the poison in Omid Scobby's new book, we can only assume they endorse it. Please, this is like a bait to sort of stop Omid. Omid is somewhat the only one who's not playing the stupid games the royal rats are doing. Because there's more truth in Omid's stuff than the others. I'm not saying all of the book is truthful, but there's more truth in Omid's book. Okay, despite all the provocation, Buckingham Palace has so far maintained a dignified silence. Look how when they're talking about the royal family, the words that they use to sort of make it look good. But when it's Harry and Meghan, they put those harsh and kind of tone of words for you to feel some sort of a way about their respective person that they're talking about. All right, despite all the provocation, Buckingham Palace has so far maintained, there's the word here, dignified silence on the latest revelation in Omid Scobby's new over Endgame, which finally hit bookstore yesterday following weeks of carefully orchestrated leaks.
They, whoever they is, whether it's the palace or the media, wouldn't tell the truth to protect us, but they would do to protect William. Well, I mean, I'm pretty fed up with Harry and Meghan, to be honest with you, and I think most people are, and, you know, they need to just go away and live their lives. However, having said that, there is probably some truth in that, in the sense that the palace in particular was very keen to make sure that the heir to the throne was protected, and Harry could be sacrificed if necessary. And actually, when I was working, I shouldn't give the name of the paper, but I was doing a piece for one of the nationals, writing a piece. And I was told, because I'm quite critical of the monarchy in many ways, I was told I could say what I want about Harry and Meghan, but I had to lay off William and Kate. That was the instruction from the editor. So I think there was an element of truth in what he says.
Well, anyway, let's read some of the oh, there's none. Good. So let's go to the next tweet. I believe it's a video as well. Okay, so there's this here. Let's pause. Okay, Ingrid Seward is a bold-faced liar. She's saying that Prince Harry gave up Frogmore Cottage. King Charles told Prince Harry and Meghan to leave Frogmore Cottage after the publication of Harry's memoir, Spare. All right, so let's listen.
I think we're very lucky to have her, and I actually feel very sympathetic towards her. It must be most unpleasant for her just to, you know, to have to stay quiet while all these insults are being hurled at her.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And a lot of people have said to me that the possible reason why Harry may want to have some kind of bolt hole here in the UK is for tax purposes, because, of course, while he may not have to pay tax in Britain, he'll certainly be liable to pay tax in the United States if he stays there long enough to become a resident.
Well, exactly.
If Harry okay, I wanted to pause it, but it shows the everything. If Harry is living in the US, he has to be a resident. Okay, he has to be a resident. So remember Meghan's niece. Okay, she's an immigration lawyer. So all of this is taken care of. But why are they talking about him paying taxes? Who cares? Why should they care about? They're willing to let the royal family live that lavish lifestyle without paying taxes. So why is Harry's tax issue in another country is a problem to them? They should not be talking about that. All right, let's continue. Well, it's gonna start all over.
And I think we're very lucky to have her, and I actually feel very sympathetic towards her. It must be most unpleasant for her just to, you know, to have to stay quiet while all these insults are being hurled at her.
Yeah.
Who is she's making reference to? Is it Meghan? I doubt that she'll be talking positively like that for about Meghan, but let's continue.
Well, that's the thing. And a lot of people have said to me that the possible reason why Harry may want to have some kind of bolt hole here in the UK is for tax purposes, because, of course, while he may not have to pay tax in Britain, he'll certainly be liable to pay tax in the United States if he stays there long enough to become a resident.
Well, exactly. I mean, they're punitive, the American taxes, but I've got a feeling that their companies are all offshore. I don't think they've been stupid about putting their money in safe places.
Yes.
But
but he's still an individual. He'll still have to pay some form of income tax, and in California, those are pretty.
What the hell is she talking about? So what she is projecting on Harry, that must be what the elites in the UK are doing. I mean, we already know there's some rich people in the US put their money offshore and all of that. But Harry doesn't have to hide anything. The charity, the Archwell, okay, is a charity. They already give them tax break. So what the hell is she talking about? She has no clue what she's talking about.
Pretty high.
Oh, very high. So maybe, but then I don't know. Perhaps he wouldn't have wanted to give up Frogmore if he was worried about tax. But then we don't know exactly who persuaded him to give up Frogmore or why he did. We don't really know.
Oh, please. Look how they sneak this and to give up Frogmore. What Harry had always said, I could be wrong, you guys could correct me. When he was moving to the US, he wanted to keep Frogmore as his headquarters. So when he flies to the UK, because he's still doing work with charities in the UK, so he wanted Frogmore to be his headquarters. So why would he give that up? They took it away from him. Wasn't somewhere I was hearing that they threw a curveball that it was Anne who suggested to Charles to take Frogmore? And I said, I don't think so. I don't think Princess Anne will get involved in this shenanigan and all of that.
The ins and outs of it, except what Scobie chooses to tell us. I mean, it is a joke. I think this book is...
The following video was filmed on the 5th of March 2021, 2 days before Harry and Meghan's interview was seen by anyone.
It is a joke. I think this book is a joke. In the interview, from start to finish...
The following video was filmed on the 5th of March 2021, 2 days before Harry and Meghan's interview was seen by anyone.
Meghan was acting.
But no one has actually seen what Harry and Meghan have to say. Instead, the airwaves are full of royal experts influencing public opinion by giving their views into the soap opera of the decade. Would these paid commentators give a review of an interview they've not yet seen? To put this to the test, Archie and I set up a production company, Beneath the Fold Limited, to invite 4 royal experts onto a fake TV show to give their reaction to Harry and Meghan's interview 3 days before they had even seen it.
Oh God, they're just trying to discredit Omid. But all of these people who wrote all of their lies, it's not a joke, huh? Okay, Prince William backed King Charles' decision to evict Harry and Meghan. That was, wow. Okay, March 3rd, 2023. And, okay, first they wrote it March 2nd, and then they edited it on March 3rd. Okay, so that's that. Okay, yes, that's her. What is that? Why am I seeing so many people? I guess I blocked so many people. Okay, that's that chick who commented on Oprah interview before it even happened. Yes, that is true. That is true. I'll find it and put the her section in there. Yeah, her and eyelashes. Yep, he did not give up Frogmore. Charles took it off him. She's supposed to be an expert. She's a misinformation expert. That's a good one. She's a liar. She's one of those that commented on Harry and Meghan interview before she had been seen. The Guardian. Correct, they didn't give it up. They were evicted. Okay, they are accused of spreading misinformation while they are also spreading misinformation. These are the same people who were congratulating Charles for evicting Harry and Meghan. These people are bold with the lies. They are criminals. Yeah, they are. Oh, I responded. Okay, isn't Ingrid Seward the same woman who spoke about the Oprah interview before it aired? How is she a credible source? So there's me here. Okay, if my memory served me well, I remember Harry said Frogmore will have been his headquarters when he is in the UK because he still works with charities in the UK. So why will he give up the gift? I made sure I put it in uppercase. The gift his granny gave him when he will still be traveling to the UK. Pretzels about to happen, Salty Highland. Okay, 62 people like it. There's 4 respond. Let's see what they say. Did they spend their own money to renovate Frogmore? They didn't take money from those who died for building upkeeps like the king. She's making reference. There's a headline that's going on, which many of us already know, that whoever doesn't have a will on the property around where Charles sort of control or something, I forgot the term of it. Okay, if they die, there's no will, Charles take it. Okay, it becomes Charles' property. Alright, so that's what she's making reference to. Next tweet, that's another video. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, we just listen to it. This is it more? Let's see here. It seems longer. Let me see.
The ins and outs of it, except what Scobie chooses to tell us. I mean, it is a joke.
Yeah.
I think
I didn't want to listen to all of it. I just moved it to the last part to see if it's the same thing. Okay, but I think I bookmarked this because of the conversation. Because people, when they retweet things, they bring different conversation. Okay, why are these people pressed about the Sussexes paying tax in California, United States? Like, are they so used to the royal family grift that Harry paying taxes in the US is somehow seen as beneath royalty? Seriously, their commentaries are idiotic and funny. Alright, so let's read some of the comments. Okay, changing stories right in front of us. He gave up Frogmore, was persuaded. What a joke. They don't have any real argument, so they resort to they have to pay taxes in the US. I'll just say this. Paying taxes seems like a small price to pay for having the freedom to speak up for yourself and not be reliant on your father or brother your whole life. Yeah, and then not only that, I'm telling you, Harry was doing most of the work, but they were dangling things in front of him for him to do stupid things for them. So he's working, he's doing his thing, he's bringing in money, people is willing to work with him, so he's fine where he's at compared to over there. Okay, and then instead the UK want him to act like a human human zoo kind of a way. Right, the royal family is like a zoo. To perform for them, so for them to fight. Look at when Meghan and Harry went back to the Queen's funeral. Look how they trash her non-stop for the entire week. I'd rather have that freedom that they have now. And now they're upset. What about the numerous books written about Harry and what he had to endure with all the stories they made up? What a bunch of hypocrites. Well, I said, so happy someone wrote a book that they don't like. Okay, it's amazing to watch the changing narrative in real time, like people weren't paying attention or weren't live and present to see for themselves what was happening. Well, these are the people, they're saying their nonsense for people who were not paying attention. So they know who their audience is. That's why they don't care if we, the Sussex world or people who knows the truth. They're catching on to those who were not paying attention. And then these people who were not paying attention, who happen to hear that, and then they come on Twitter to spill their BS to us, and then we have to put them in place with receipt. Okay, but that the UK media, they still believe they hold the power to tell people what to think. Okay, that was their mistake as well. They think they still using the 1900s kind of, should I even say, Stone Age kind of mentality, because they had control of the papers. Okay, did she even read this book first? Last time she commented on Oprah interview without having even seen it. Omid wrote a book. What does this book have to do with Harry and Meghan? A lot of what's in the book was already known. It's been written about on Twitter, X, for years. We have seen the royal rats made some of the comments themselves. We have seen, backtrack on their own stories. Okay, without exactly what it is, LOL. They want to say without saying that if Harry had stayed, he would have looted taxpayers' fund and getting free money. Forgetting, of course, that financial malfeasance is only the purview of the monarchy and heir. Everyone else is just begging. That is true. That is true. And this is what I was saying. They're dangling things in front of Harry and they're making Harry perform. And then for him to get it. Meanwhile, there's Harry, he does whatever he wants, and people are willing to work with him for him to make money and all of that. This is the thing that they pissed about, because when he was leaving, where they were taking everything away from him, because the institution is about facade. They think the name is what makes you.
It's your character that matters most.
Okay, to a certain extent, yes, but it's not all of it, because in the US, we look beyond just the name. If you could do the work, you could do what is required of you, you will get paid for your work. We don't care if you're royal or not. If you could do the work, hey, that's the job for you.
Harry and Meghan are incredibly marketable. I'd call them the new young Obamas. They're going to make an ungodly amount of money, and you know what? They literally could become billionaires over the next 20 years. If either of them came on Shark Tank, I wouldn't even wait for them to pitch. I'd be like, I'm in, whatever you want, yes, because they are so marketable. It'll be so easy to develop products and projects for them, with them, and around them. It'd be, yes. Can you hook it up?
So this is Harry, and they piss about it, that Harry is being hired, people are willing to work with him, and he's making money on his own. They wanted Harry to come back over there to beg for money. So Harry's not begging for money, they are pissed. Alright, let me read the last one. They just lie as a matter of course, don't they? Like they literally DGAF, don't give a F. They literally don't give a F if people know they're lying. A 30-second Google search shows that companies, this is the thing that I was saying, registered in Delaware. I was saying about the offshore. What is she talking about? There's a charitable thing. They registered at certain charity thing. They give them tax break for the work that they're doing. And they have to show the government that they are doing what they say they are doing. This is one thing I've said. In the U.S., do not mess with taxes. Trump is in trouble in New York because of his stupidity. He abused it. If you go on PYTE, one of the things that I said when I think when he even got the presidency, I think that is one of his biggest mistakes. Okay, running for presidency, because they will dig up, and this is why he didn't want to show his taxes, giving all sort of excuse. Okay, but eventually the truth will come forward, will come to light. Okay, let me finish with that, which last time we checked was in the US, despicable. Yeah, if you go on Google, you type Archwell, you'll find the register number and everything. I have a screenshot of it. Just look at the screen as I read it, because I will show it. All right, let's go to the next tweet. Okay. All right, next tweet. Let's pause.
And they had to say, "Oh no, we weren't." They had to.
I wanna pause. All right. So who's briefing them? All right. So Joe Diva retweeted that. Both Piers Morgan and them Uten claim they know who's the royal racist. So explain how Meghan is the one briefing Scobby when there's clearly multiple people privy to this information before Endgame's receipt. Okay, more at length, TikTok. Alright, so let's listen to this. This is the squad who's coming with information, with receipt. Alright, they're projecting on Harry and Meghan and Scobby. They're telling Scobby is like Meghan and Harry's mouthpiece and all of that. Meanwhile, they're telling that part. You just have to look into the detail. If the UK were not paying attention, but the rest of the world was. Okay? So 21 seconds. This one is 21 seconds. The other one is 42 seconds. Let's listen.
Talking about the Queen, the late Queen, and Prince Philip. So we know there's only a very small pool of people. I know who it is. I'm not going to name it because let me tell you, Angela, this person is not racist. They totally took some very innocent comments out.
Okay, so there's Martin Brenning saying he knows who it is. Okay, who's the racist person? Alright, I'm telling you, the squad are good. I didn't have this clip before. Alright, let me bookmark it. One day I'll come back to it. Alright, so let's listen to this. Alright, so where is the thing?
Tessa.
Where am I?
Tessa, there's a point in the book where he talks about the contents of letters between King Charles and Meghan Markle, in which two members of the royal household, I know who they supposedly are, right, these two people, let's call them royal household, that two of them had expressed these infamous concerns about the skin colour of baby Archie before he was born, right? But my question is, obviously he's not got that from King Charles,
no.
So he can only have got it from Meghan Markle or her friends or people she's told this to, right? So, it's two things, this book. One is blatant lies. Secondly, stuff he can only have got from Meghan Markle. Tessa.
Oh, fuck. What the hell happened to the thing?
Tessa, there's a point. So he can only have got it from Meghan Markle or her friends or people she's told this to, right? So, it's two things, this book. One is blatant lies. Secondly, stuff he can only have got from Meghan Markle. Tessa.
Okay, it's playing over. I didn't get the whole point on this one. Okay, there's this here. Prince Charles and Camilla hire Daily Mail executive for tap post. Alright, so there's me here. I responded to it an hour ago. Blueprint is not working. The world Sussex WAC is keeping receipt. They should have left Meghan Markle alone. The dragon was willing to accept their BS. Now the sleeping dragon says hell to the no. We've seen their work in action before. We're not going to let them be evil and peace. UK may accept, not the world. Okay, I meant this one. Right. Also, maybe Omid got his information from whoever gave the Telegraph info about the letters in the first place. Notice also Pierce said there are two people who were concerned. All right. It's not just them on GMB. This morning, both journalists on there knew the name of the person, so obviously open secret between palace and media, yet they blame Meghan for being the only person who could have told Omid looks like plenty of people know who it is. Okay, did Harry and Meghan brief you, Piers Morgan, since you said you also know? Or don't you think the same people who told you told others like you? Alright, palace sources, they're known about this forever. Yeah, I mean, like Meghan said, once she tell her truth, she drop her truth and then she move on. You make what you want with whatever she told you. Alright, so next tweet, there's this one here. Meanwhile, you have the inept king who can't tie his own shoelaces, need his puppet to put toothpaste on his toothbrush. The other brother is either in the Norfolk Woods or on events where nobody shows up. But carry on. Okay, so why is she making reference to? I thought that was a retweet of something. So there's Charles. Is there any text along with it? No. Okay, the National. Crowds failed to materialize at Prince William's royal visit to Scotland. I remember that. Because I remember watching that video. And I saw a group of people standing up front, and I thought there were people there. I thought it was the public, but it was journalists. There were more journalists. Okay, crowds failed to turn up to Prince William's Scotland visit. I mean, he bring this up on himself. He wants public opinion. He wants people to cheer for him, but he's spewing BS. This kind of behavior, and this is a perfect example for people who love their children, who want their kids to succeed in life or whatever. Harry and William's lives have been playing out for the world to see. We've seen how William behaved as a child. Okay, we saw how Princess Diana managed William. After she passed, we don't know what happened. Okay, and then the behavior that he's been carrying on since a child now have manifested into this. This is a self-destruction that is happening with William right now. It's not Harry's fault. Okay, this is a self-destruction. So if you love your children, and I'm speaking for myself as well, I have 2 boys. I try my best. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't, but you try your best to do the right thing and raise them equally the same. Put some boundaries. When they do something wrong, you put a stop to it right in the moment. Because once you left the hospital don't give you a book how to raise your children. Okay, each of your kids gonna have their own personality. So as they grow and they showing their personality, they're gonna express certain things. You know, some of them will be good, some of them will be not good. Okay, so when they show the part that is no good, you tackle it right in the instant. I've made some mistakes already because I listened to my husband, but now we're trying to correct it. Okay, so we all are not perfect. Yes, we have 2 parents and everything like that. You know, we have to create a boundary somewhere, a level of things, so we don't, you know, arguing among each other and then destroy the marriage. So some, you know, you raise something and the other one counter. It could go for good and bad. Okay, but you have the ability to see the wrong because you've experienced things already. You know, fire burn. Kids who just grow, they don't know. They see the light. Oh, they're gonna touch it. You know, fire burns. You stop the kid from touching it. So William have been having that behavior since child. Princess Diana tried to nip it in the butt, but the institution allow him to be whatever he wants. There was no boundary, and now you're seeing what we have here. The same thing goes with Charles as well, and that's why we have the type of personalities we see here. Meanwhile, they were curbing Harry and, you know, to be submissive to William, and I don't know, maybe that was a good thing in a way, but it was killing him inside. But he turned out to be a good human being. All right, so that's that. William is a self-destruction. He's doing whatever's happening to himself. Okay, let's see here. Served 10 years in the army, fought the Taliban in Afghanistan, started the Invictus Game for wounded soldiers, helped raise over $1.3 billion for 9/11 victims, can fly Apache helicopters, raise hundreds of millions of dollars for at least 24 charities. His mom was killed by the Rapid Press. If Harry now wants to do his own thing, then let him. Okay, so that's that. There's no comment, right? Yeah, let's go to the next one. So this one, I have like 4 more. Okay, so there's the emoji here. Lazy Kate Middleton ordered to do more work. This seems so unfair. That was back in 2020, February 19, 2020. Kate Middleton has been working hard out on the campaign trail for weeks, pushing her 5 big questions survey throughout the UK. However, the royal has been accused of not pulling her weight in the past. I don't know what to say about that. But the only thing I can say, which I have been saying, is that to tackle, for someone like Kate, to tackle something that has to do with psychology, it's a huge topic. Okay, the brain of all things, because there's so many branches within the brain that happen. Even professionals who spend years and years in schools and who've been practicing haven't really tackle the brain issue completely. But her, she decided this is the topic for her. I don't know. Alright, Camilla Parker Bowles, a lazy woman like Kate Middleton, avoid work source claims. When was that? That was September 13, 2019. Camilla Parker Bowles was called lazy just like Kate Middleton. Okay, her whole brand lazy lady. Okay, and what do? Queen wants Kate Middleton to get charity job to counterclaim she is work shy. That was 2008, way before Meghan got into the picture. So that's that. The squad come with free seat. They all were lazy. Meanwhile, you had Meghan, who came, I always call it a few seconds. And I usually get called out for saying a few seconds. The time Meghan was over there. Look what she did. Okay? And if she had mentioned to the institution she was doing the cookbook, she was doing smart work and many other things, they will shut her down. The same way Harry wanted to do the Invictus, he didn't tell William. He went straight to the board, and then they approve it. They know Harry wants to do that, and then William got upset about it. Why? Because William feel like Harry should have come to him first instead of the board. Meanwhile, what I think, 2 things that could have happened if Harry had taken it to William. 1, William shut it down completely. Okay, there won't be no Invictus whatsoever. Or he shut Harry down, but take the idea and make it his own, similar to what he does with Earth shit. Alright, so that's that. But Harry is very smart. He knows when he's passionate and he's really about the thing, he knows what to do. The same way when they told him he had to ask the Queen for permission to marry Meghan, what did he do? He waited until the Queen is by herself, because he did not want the Queen's decision to be influenced by those vipers. So Harry is very smart. He knows how each of the family members operate. So this is the next tweet. Okay, anyways, it's been interesting seeing the outrage at Kate being called a bit cold and unwelcoming, while calling every name but a child of God is applauded by trolls and minions of the palace within the British media. Okay, I wish you retweet where the thing was. Well, it's just typical things. We know how the UK media deal when it comes to Meghan. Alright, the media and the Rangers are in a complete meltdown. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. I've seen threats to Scobby and Harry and Meghan, and some of the most vile comments. The bottom line, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, because karma is just getting started. Okay, exactly. Then they turn around to gaslight. That's true. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. Wow, it's already 7:42, almost 8 o'clock. My husband is gonna get up soon. Alright. Remember this? All they had to do was leave Harry and Meghan alone. All right, so she retweeted that. Quote, senior members of the family wanted them back after the transition period and were ready to continue playing dirty to make this happen. They never thought the trial period would work and try everything to make it fair, starting with the removal of security and then signing off on a 12-month assault by the UK press on Harry and Meghan and everyone in their orbit. Yeah, when I read this, it's just so vile. It's like in the facade, they said one thing, and I think in front of the Queen, everybody who was in the room agreed for the 12-month period, the trial period. Okay? But in the back, they went to work to make sure that 12 months did not work. Okay? To give Harry reason to call back. And this is when they were in Canada, and then people were literally coming at their doorstep. At their doorstep. Strangers, knowing, you know, the threat, that the level of threat that they are in. This is pure vile, you know. And then they wanted them to call back, but instead they disappeared while they were in Tyler's home, and then they rebrand, they recoup, and they get themselves back on, you know, on their feet. Okay, in the Dutch version of Endgame, there should be a period instead of a colon. Okay, the name Charles began in the next sentence. This is the confusion. It's obvious the translation was an error. Okay, I don't know. Right? Okay. So what happened at the end of the contract? Was the press then okay to let loose on the Sussexes forever? Is this a lifetime punishment for not returning, and what exactly was gonna happen if they return? Were the press then gonna leave them alone? I got question. That's a good question. Let's go into that. Okay, the torture was going to continue for Harry and Meghan. The monarchy is about Charles and William and the white balcony. When people stop consuming the hate the press keep dishing out about them, once their supporters stop spreading the negative headlines and start ignoring the loud racist minority and focus on highlighting their good works, hate loses its power, then people ignore it. That's a good point. Let's go back. Okay, I went into that. Let's read right there. Okay, so, okay. I read that. Royal family had bad advisors around them. I think so too. And let's not forget, with the Queen's secretary, Charles and Andrew removed the good secretary, the one who was advising the Queen the best way, because he was so harsh with Charles and what's the other one, and Andrew. Okay, so Charles and Andrew decided to team up together to oust them. Okay, and then put the person that he wanted to listen to. So Charles is involved in all of this. When you look in this aspect, in this angle. Okay, the secretary that Charles had replaced was someone that Charles could control. So whatever Charles wants and tell that secretary, the guy does it. Okay, for instance, with the security, I believe, okay, this is where that secretary should have advised the Queen, this is what's happening to Harry. He needs security, he needs this. But they kept that away from the Queen. Okay, we could easily say Harry could pick up the phone and call his grandma and so on. But it seemed like things like this need to be set a meeting. So Harry didn't do that, in my humble opinion, because if Harry had told the Queen directly, that would have things would have changed. But what happened is that the meeting that Harry was supposed to meet with the Queen after, I don't know where he was coming from, and was gonna meet with the Queen, and then all of a sudden they changed the Queen's schedule. Okay, I think this is where Harry was gonna mention it to the Queen face to face. So Charles, the secretary Charles put, okay, was keeping things away from, I think his name is Young or something like that. Look at the screen. I'll be putting some screenshot. Okay, so Charles had someone within the Queen's circle that will pretty much tell him what is going on, and then at the same time control that secretary, and for the secretary to keep things away from the Queen. Okay, but the one that was there before, he was doing his job. He was looking out for the crown. and he did his job very well. But ever since that switch happened, things been going downward. Okay, and we are here. So like I was saying, Charles is as involved as anybody in anything that is happening. Okay, the fact that they was it Edward Young, I think that's the guy name, Edward Young, Charles had put. Alright, so that guy was doing whatever Charles said that needs to be done. Alright, so let's see here. Still shaking my head at this strategy. The men in gray suit, okay, the men in gray thought sadism and cruelty will convince the Sussexes to come back. I mean, that's the institution blueprint. This is the way they operate around the world, the colonialism mindset. Okay, and Choco and Pegginton signed off on this strategy. Alright, so I'm not gonna go to this because it's on YouTube already. Israel-Hamas war. Okay, so this one, I think I have it in one of my videos where he was explaining to Piers Morgan how this came about. Okay, Pandora box. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. I can't believe this. I'm already an hour. And I thought this was gonna be really quick. I talk too much. Next tweet, there's this here. There's the laugh. The jokes keep writing themselves. Okay, a royal riff. These two don't see eye to eyes all the time, but they are working more closely than ever before. The facade of things. Let's see here. Yes, I'm sure photo tell us that. There's a rolling eye. No. Is this recent? We will plan. That's an ad. People's laughing. Bahaha. The amount of explaining is insane. They keep telling on themselves. There's that. Propagandistic royal voters. Clown. Okay, both cheaters, no surprise. I doubt it. They truly trust each other. Neither are trustworthy from the way they've treated Harry. With Charles and William's relationship, that's Charles' fault. Okay, he's the father. He should have put a grip on that. Okay, but then again, whatever. Let me leave that alone. Next tweet. So this one, there'll be screenshot, but pay attention to the audio. That's from a movie or show, I don't know from where, but it's what is being said. That's my response here about an hour ago. Facts. Okay, truth burn. Drops mic and quietly exit the building. From the TV show called Warrior. Okay? Screenshot only, just listen.
You compare the Chinese to the Indians, and I can't help but wonder how the Indians viewed the arrival of our own ancestors, turning up on their shores in droves.
We brought with us God and civility.
You mean because we murdered them by the thousands with bullets instead of tomahawks and spears? I imagine they would have wanted to enact an exclusion act all their own where we were concerned.
Oh, Penelope, dear. I hardly think it's fair to compare.
My point is, we came to a country, found a people we deemed inferior, and stole their land right out from under them. And since then, we have imported different races we deem inferior to do our dirty work for us. And when that work is done, we lament their presence in our country as an assault on our values.
Facts! It happened in the US, pretty much globally. Now it's happening in the Middle East. Okay? So that is it. I have nothing to say. It speaks for itself. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for, let's do prosperity. Or maybe for the world. Prayer for the world. Let's see here. I think that's what I did in one of my videos. Okay, help this world to know what is wrong and what is right. Provide peace and hope to those who are suffering from injustice. Show them that you're there and you care for them and that you will make all things right. God, I pray for a world full of love and compassion. I think I read this in one video, my last video. So let's do something else. Prayer for the world. Okay, Marianne Williamson. Dear God, please pour your love onto a hurting world. We need miracles. Now remove our judgment that we ourselves might be conduit for removing the pain of the world. Amen. Alright, so that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. My main goal for being in the computer that late, instead of since like 12 midnight, is because I was gonna do the vacation videos to put on Patreon, and then I went on Twitter, everything went haywire, and I created this video. Alright, so that is it. Thank you for your support.
Lavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.